The Seventh-day Adventist denomination has now completely fallen in apostasy, and it shows this publicly in crystal clear terms. President of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Germany Johannes Naether preached at the opening of the Alliance Week of Prayer 2025 in Lüneburg. In doing so, the Seventh-day Adventists show quite unmistakably that they belong to the ecumenical movement. January 13, 2025. Adventist Press Service Germany. Adventist Church President Johannes Naether preached at the opening of the Alliance Prayer Week in Lüneburg. The nationwide week of prayer of the Evangelical Alliance was opened yesterday in numerous services. At the local opening in Lüneburg, the president of the North German Association of the Free Church of the Seventh-day Adventist, Johannes Naether, gave the sermon. The theme of the Alliance Day from 12th to 19th of January reads, Hope, Living Hope Togetherness. A central Bible text of the week of prayer comes from 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 12 to 13, who emphasizes the appreciation and recognition of the community leaders. The Bible passage encourages respect for those who work tirelessly for their church and give pastoral advice. This Bible text was also based on the sermon of Johannes Naether, which he held in the fully occupied Protestant St. Nicolai Church in Lüneburg. Statements from the sermon. Church, this means a good and healthy network of relationships, people who treat each other in mutual love and with respect, endure tensions and have a culture to tackle conflicts with heart and mind and to provide a solution that is too good to be true, almost cliched, far away from reality, so Naether. But the early Christian apostle Paul saw the people and the congregation with this gaze. He sees the good, he motivates and confirms the common faith, he irritates for good, because standstill would mean regression. Where Jesus Christ is at the center of faith and life, there can be gained in a trusting coexistence. Recognizing and perceiving the good, picking up on it, I can say to myself and practice it to others, he said with regard to the annual slogan of the Christian churches in Germany, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Here the verse is taken completely out of context, as is always the case when it is quoted.
Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Quench not the spirit. Despise not prophesying. Prove all things. Hold fast that which is good. Abstain from all appearance of evil.
The evil ones are also those who trample on the 10 Commandments of our Creator and Redeemer and change them. My observation is that we have become more aggressive and, at the same time, more vulnerable. This climate of irritation is not good for us and damages our souls. In his text, Paul wrote about respect, honor, and love, lubricants for successful cooperation. Anyone in a public position today needs to dress warmly. At a time when everything that doesn't correspond to my opinion is mercilessly put down, foul-mouthed and criticized, this is a strong challenge from Paul. It literally shines out and stands out pleasantly from the everyday bullying, says Johannes Naether. Support for the Desert Flower Center Waldfried. The service was framed by communal songs and hymns, accompanied by a music group made up of members of various Lüneburg Free Church congregations under the direction of Timo Grieb, pastor of the Lüneburg Adventist Church. The collection was collected for the Desert Flower Center Waldfried. This facility provides medical assistance and psychosocial support for women affected by genital mutilation. It was founded in 2013 in cooperation between the Desert Flower Foundation and the Waldfried Adventist Hospital and is located on the grounds of the Waldfried Hospital in Berlin-Zehlendorf. The patron of the Desert Flower Center Waldfried is author and model Waris Deary, who herself was a victim of genital mutilation and wrote the book Desert Flower about her experiences. About the Alliance Week of Prayer. The Alliance Week of Prayer will take place from January 12th to 19th, 2025 under the motto, Hope, Living Hope Together. It invites people to reflect on the past year and show gratitude, especially for the community of faith and the leaders in the Christian congregations, according to a statement from the Evangelical Alliance in Germany. Part of the Alliance Week of Prayer will also be a joint day of action with participants in the Week of Prayer for Christian Unity on January 19th. This will consist of a prayer walk with several stops between the cities of Velbert and Essen. The subsequent Week of Prayer for Christian Unity is supported by the Association of Christian Churches and will take place from January 18th to 25th in the participating congregations. About the Evangelical Alliance. The Evangelical Alliance in Germany is a network of Christians from various churches and communities. It is a registered association based in Bad Blankenburg, Thuringia. The theological basis is the so-called Basis of Faith of the Evangelical Alliance, the first version of which was adopted back in 1846 when the Worldwide Evangelical Alliance was founded in London. This makes it the longest-standing association of evangelically minded Christians. The Evangelical Alliance sees itself as a union of believers in Christ who belong to various Christian churches, congregations, and groups. It is a network for unity, common prayer, common faith, common witnessing of the gospel, common time statements on socially relevant topics, and taking responsibility in the world on the basis of the foundation of faith. In Germany, there are around 900 local alliances and around 380 affiliated works and organizations. The board members Frank Heinrich and Dr. Reinhard Schenk manage the work of the Evangelical Alliance in Germany in terms of content and association law. Germany Alliance Week of Prayer 2025. Opening service in St. Nicolai Church on January 12, 2025. This is a Sunday. We are reopening the Alliance Week with a joint service in St. Nicolai on the January 12, 2025 at 11 a.m. A children's service is offered. This year we have Johannes Naether as a preacher. He is president of the Advent congregations in Germany. Living together is the topic of the Alliance Prayer Week in 2025. The basis for this is the text from 1 Thessalonians 5 verses 12 to 25. From which the annual slogan 2024 dates back to each other. Paul writes that we should put on the protective mantle of faith and love and put on the helmet of hope in salvation. How we practically live this hope in Christ and carry it into our world, the respective themes of the evening of prayer serve. Here we see the program of the Alliance Week of Prayer 2025, and we see the active participation of the Seventh-day Adventist denomination. Johannes Naeter, president of the Adventist churches in Germany, will give the opening sermon on Sunday. On Monday, the Alliance Week of Prayer will take place in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. This means that all Seventh-day Adventist members represented by their president attend the Sun worship service and worship ball. The Church of St. Nikolai is the youngest and smallest of the three main churches of the Hanseatic city of Lüneburg. The church dedicated to St. Nicholas of Myra is a three-nave basilica. It was built from 1407 to 1440 in the style of brick Gothic, like other churches in Hanseatic towns in the Baltic Sea region. Since the introduction of the Reformation in Lüneburg in 1530, Protestant services have been held in the church. Now let's take a closer look at St. Nikolai Church in Lüneburg. The gleaming golden altar, carved from wood, shows 20 scenes from the life of Jesus. The wings are closed during the Passion period until Easter. Pictures from the lives of saints and martyrs can then be seen. During the Easter Holy Week, another transformation takes place. For a few days, you can view the sacrifice of Isaac and the crucifixion of Jesus on the altar. This is the description of the altar directly from the website of St. Nikolai Church in Lüneburg. And do you notice that Jesus Christ is still hanging on the cross? For all those who worship a false Jesus Christ there, he never really rose from the dead. Don't let the pastor hosting a cooking show as a church service and sermon distract you from the important detail. Did you notice anything? Look to the right at the pillar. Who do you see there? Who is this church dedicated to? There you can see Mary, wearing a crown with little Jesus Christ as a baby. Mary is depicted as the Queen of Heaven. This church is a Roman Catholic church. You can see that from the entire interior. It is only Protestant in name. Here we have some more impressive pictures. Here again the golden altar with its pictures and Jesus Christ still hanging on the cross. Now we come to the pulpit where Johannes Naether, president of the Adventist churches in Germany, preached the opening sermon for the Alliance Week of Prayer 2025 on a Sunday. Here again a small altar with Jesus Christ still hanging on the cross. How blind you have to be not to see all this. How can a Seventh-day Adventist go to such a Baal temple? This reminds me strongly of the chamber of images in Ezekiel 8. Does Mr. Johannes Naether not know the Bible?
And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, and abominable beasts, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jaazaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, The Lord seeth us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz. Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O Son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east, and they worshipped the sun toward the east. Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O Son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them.
Again, the Bible warns us in Matthew 15 verse 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Apparently, Mr. Johannes Naether does not know what the mark of the beast is. Vatican News. Ecumenical Prayer Week with special program to Holy Year. On the 25th, Pope Francis celebrates the Ecumenical Vespers at the end of the week of prayer for Christian unity in the Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls from 5:30 p.m. On the occasion of the Holy Year 2025, the Diocese of Rome is also organizing an ecumenical pilgrimage vigil in 3 Roman churches on Thursday evening. This vigil will connect 3 different churches from 6 p.m. under the motto, Pilgrimage of Hope. The Protestant Church in Via Cecilia 70, the Orthodox Church of Sant Andrea in Via Sardegna 153, and the parish of San Camillo de Lellis in Via Piemonte 41. Biblical meditations are planned for the pilgrim vigil at all stations, as the Vicariate of Rome announced this Monday. Pastor Morella Minocchio will hold these for the Protestant Christians, Father Simeon Katsanas for the Orthodox Christians, and Bishop Paolo Ricciardi, Diocesan Representative for Ecumenism and Dialogue, for the Catholic Church. Background. The Week of Prayer for Christian Unity is held annually from the 18th to the 25th of January. In 2025, it is entitled, "Do You Believe This?" John 11 verse 26. This year, the materials of the Week of Prayer for the Unity of Christians were prepared by brothers and sisters of the monastic community, Boes in northern Italy. In 2025, there are also two important events. The Catholic Church is celebrating a Holy Year, and there is an ecumenical celebration, the Jubilee of the First Ecumenical Council, which took place in Nicaea near Constantinople in 325 AD for the 1700th time. The Bible explicitly points out where all the false teachings come from. It is the Roman Catholic Church.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth.
The Bible clearly warns us that we should not have fellowship with unbelievers. And all Sunday keepers worship the sun and thus break the entire first stone tablet of the 10 Commandments. The first stone tablet contains the first 4 commandments.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, and hallowed it.
And the Seventh-day Adventist denomination has now also joined the Sunday keepers. They are now completely absorbed into the leaven of Babylon. The Seventh-day Adventist denomination has become worse than Babylon, because they had all the warnings and rejected them in order to be allowed to sit at Jezebel's table again.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? And what concord hath Christ with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? And what agreement hath the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God. As God hath said, I will dwell in them, and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith the Lord Almighty. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
Anyone who remains a member of the Seventh-day Adventist denomination will go down with the prison ship on which he has glued and chained himself. Anyone who still remains a member of the Seventh-day Adventist denomination should rather join the Roman Catholic Church. Then at least they are honest and do not lie to themselves. Hear the loud cry and leave the completely apostate Seventh-day Adventist denomination and come to the true Jesus Christ. For only He can save you. Act quickly before your probation will be closed. Everyone who belongs to the people of our Creator and Redeemer will hear the loud call and obediently follow it, and will leave spiritual Babylon.